Okay, so I'm going to be throwing a lot of information at you on this video. So I'm going to try to make it as short and concise as possible as I can. But we're going to talk about three different types of economies. The first one up here is the command or planned economy. That is a communist economy. We're going to talk about that one first. The second is a mixed economy, which is socialist economy. And the third one is the free market economy, which is our economy here in the United States, which is also known as a capitalist economy. So let's go ahead and get started with the first one. Let's talk about the communist economy system. This is a production of goods, services, which is determined by the central government, which usually owns the means of production. The government is going to own everything. They own every aspect of what's going on in the economy of that country. The second part of it is production does not necessarily reflect consumer demand. Also called a planned economy is what it's called. Examples of these are the former Soviet Union, which is a communist government. In this government right here, there are a lot of fear quotas. Those are other characteristics that are part of it as well. The government has total control, and there is a lot of poor quality and no choices. Factories, businesses, farms, factories, and citizens, they're all owned by the government. All right. The characteristics, there they are right there. I don't expect you to know all of these, but know that the government controls everything. They control all aspects of what's going on, just like the communist government itself. And down here at the bottom, I want you to remember that this economy is usually based on some part of a plan. In this case, for the communist economy, it's a 5-year plan. So when you think of communism, I want you to think of monopoly. The government owns everything, so they have a monopoly on every aspect of life, right? So just remember those. Let's move on to the second type of economy. This is the socialism economy. Socialism economic system where the government has more control than the capitalist system, but not as much control as the communist system. A socialist system, they retain control of major industries such as banks, transportation, communication, petrochemical, health, gas, oil, and steel, but most of the businesses will still be private. This is why we call it the mixture. This is the mixed economy because it's got a little bit of the communist flavor and then it's got a little bit of the capitalist or free enterprise flavor. To give you a diagram what it looks like, you got the government over here. What they do is the goods go back to the workers, but the goods are also owned by the government, and the government determines what the needs are, the wants, resources, people, and competition. Businesses do not do that. People don't do that. They dictate what the factory is going to produce. All right. They're usually with this, the downfall is there's usually higher taxes with this, but some businesses are still owned, so that's a good thing. But it's a little bit of a mixture. This is what I want you guys to remember here. We got a communist economy tied up with a capitalist or free market. They're tied up together to make that mixed economy of the socialist right there. All right. And lastly, you have the free enterprise economy. This is the production of goods and services, which is determined by the demand from the consumer, not the government, but by the consumer. Also, this is called a market economy. So you got two new words, capitalism and market economy. These are all examples of the United States. Here, you own everything. The citizens and businesses make most of the economic decisions. The government is usually there to help out with services, workers' comp, employee stuff like that. The government does not decide any production of goods. It all goes on to the business owner and the consumer. It's a supply and demand type of thing, and we'll talk more about that tomorrow. But this is where you get your choices, your competition, limited government control, that supply and demand. And you notice right here, you get to pick. You get to pick the clothes you want, the coffee you want, all that kind of stuff right there. So that's the type of economy we have right there. So remember, our three types of economy are a communist economy, a socialist economy, and then you got the free enterprise economy. So let's go ahead and move on to our pros and cons of these three different types.
Pros and cons, pros and cons, pros and cons.
Let's go ahead and start with communist economy. The pro for communist economy: not having to worry about what you are going to buy, sell, work, or eat. The government does it all for you. Con: having to meet fear quotas at work, not having a choice,
poor quality of products, and total control is with the government. Socialist economy. Pros: the government still controls the economy and then sets the demand, but some businesses are privately owned. While the con: the strict government control does for the greater good of the society and causes higher taxes on its citizens. And then finally, free enterprise economy. Pro: the citizens and businesses make economic choices and production with limited government control. Consumers control supply and demand, while the con: the limited government control can promote corrupt businesses that seek to create a monopoly in product production.
And there you have it, guys. That's our 3 types of economy: communism, socialist, and free market enterprise. Hope you enjoyed the video. Now go check out your Google form so you can go ahead and get that completed and submit that. I'll see you next time. Have a good night.